Hello everyone and welcome to Module 2. Module 2 is actually one of my favorite modules because it covers one of my current research interests, and that is this idea that popular culture influences education in the way that we school children. So I envision this in a few different ways. First of all, our students bring their what I call outside literacies or outside activities into the classroom with them, this popular knowledge, things like popular TV shows, video games that students are playing, lyrics to music, and those can influence the way that they interact in classrooms. At the same time, teachers can also draw on some of these things for effective classroom instruction. I've known language arts teachers that use students' popular songs to teach literary devices. I actually have looked at using a reality television show for a variety of different ways and to help students deconstruct what they're seeing and what they're interacting with. At the same time, there are many movies and TV shows out there that depict education and teachers in schools. Some of these are positive images, and others are actually negative images or influences. And so everyday consumers see that and form different opinions about what we do as teachers and what our students act like when they're in the classroom. So one of the things that I want you to think about as you engage in this module is the different ways that popular culture, whether that be music, video, like graphic novels, technology, smartphones, anything like that, how those things that are permanent or are very current today, how they actually impact you in your classroom. And at the end of this module, you'll actually be creating a project that relates to that. To sort of set the stage, I recommend watching the movie Regeneration first. That is a social critique on the way that society, especially consumerism in the United States, how that influences what's called the me generation. I suggest watching that first and then going into the reading. So that might set the stage on what I'm asking you to think about this semester, during this module. The second thing that I would like for you to do is then read the three pieces. One is by Mangrum, and that is a research study where he examined teachers' perspectives of popular culture and influence on students. The second piece is more positive, and that's by Morale and Duncan. And these authors and researchers have actually embedded critical literacy and critical media literacy into the classroom, especially with low-income students. And so a lot of their work is a reflection of how this could be a positive force. And then the Miles piece is a great example of taking one piece of popular culture, in this case hip-hop, and looking at the good and critiquing the bad at the same time. I have provided a few extra resources in this module for you to look at just for inspiration. You can read them if you have time and if you're interested. Maybe if you're struggling to figure out which popular culture medium you want to follow or think about over the semester, over the module. So you can use those as resources, but you definitely do not have to read them, and they're not included into your annotated responses for this module. This module is a 2-week module, and the reason is because it's going to take you a little while to do your video blog, and this also allows you the opportunity to do the readings and watch the movie in enough time to prepare for your first collaborative group discussion. I'm going to take some time to explain what the goal behind the collaborative group discussion. I am not fully convinced, even though I love online education, I see the role of it, I'm not fully convinced that written discussions are always the most effective way to get students to engage with one another within the class. And I know a lot of online programs, even fully online programs, require their students to meet up like once a week in online spaces to discuss. I have a friend that is working on his MBA in a fully online program, and that's what they have to do every Sunday night. I know that many of you are taking this so that you can work at your own pace, but I do find that, and this is my philosophy of education, I do believe that things are best when we can socially construct and create meaning off of what we're reading, what we're doing. So that's why I've embedded these three. You'll have three collaborative discussions. At this point, I've placed you into groups, and so what I want you to do is contact your group members and decide on which is a good time for you all to meet. And this will be fully online through the Adobe Connect feature. So what I'm going to ask for you to do is finish reading your readings and choose and pull out two of the quotes. This could be from Module 1 or from this module on popular culture. I want you to copy those quotes. You don't have to write about your reflection yet. Just copy those quotes into the area that I've provided for your group. There's each group has a group folder, and in those folders you'll be able to use a variety of tools to interact online. So I envision you posting these into the discussion post area, and in that way everyone can look at them visually when you have this discussion. Then you're going to get together with your group and you're going to determine a date and time that would be best for you to meet up using Adobe Connect or some other kind of technology like that, group meeting technology. If you need to use Adobe Connect, we have access to that through Blackboard. So what I'm asking for you to do is to have someone from the group email me within 48 hours and I can set up an Adobe Connect session for you. You can use things like Skype or Google Chat. The only thing is that I am requiring you all to record this session in some form. If it's not video, that's okay. But so I've had some people use Skype and then record it on their phone. But I would like to have a recording so that I can go and listen to your discussions after you've finished. The way that the discussion forums work or the online discussion interactions work is that each time you will choose one person that will be the discussion leader, and that's sort of to help facilitate what's going on in the discussion, pull in people that haven't had a chance to talk, make sure that everyone has gone through the quotes, make sure that everyone just keep the conversation flowing. And that discussion leader could be the person that's in charge of setting up the actual Adobe Connect for me. The second role, or the second person, will be the recorder. And this person, I just want you to jot down an outline of key things that you all sort of talked about during this discussion. You also want to make sure that it's being recorded digitally. So either in Adobe Connect, there's a portion where you can hit the record button. I'm not sure about Google Chat or Skype. So in that case, you would have to record it on a phone or a digital recorder. So after the group, and I'm only expecting these to be an hour. Every year that I do this, students continue talking, and it goes on sometimes for hour and a half, 2 hours. But really, if you have a good, thorough discussion in an hour, I think that's a great way to interact and meet your peers. After that, your recorder is going to send me the outline of the major themes that you discussed. You can post that in your group folder as well. And then you're going to send me the link to the recording so that I can view it and give feedback on it. So that's the group interaction. You'll have 3 of these. And at the end of the third session during Module 5, then you'll be brainstorming and developing a group project, a multimedia project, where you're going to present to me and others in our cohort the major themes that your group discussed. So I can answer questions about that as we go along. I just want everyone to make sure that we can have a successful first group collaboration. Since this is a 2-week module, my suggestion is to take the first week, everyone individually working, reading, finishing the readings, and then you can do during the second week, you all can set up that online discussion. The other assignment for this class is a popular culture video blog, and just like I introduced this, you can this module, you can take this in a variety of different ways. You could look at one type of popular culture medium that your students are using. I've had people use things like Minecraft and other video games. You could talk about or investigate ways to incorporate technology or popular culture into a classroom. Or if you're really stuck, you could look at, compare or analyze a movie or a television show that has teachers in it or students in it and talk about what messages are being sent out there about what learning is. So there's huge variety of ways that you can take this. And if anyone has any questions, if you want to run some ideas by me, feel free to email me. I'm really good about giving feedback on, yeah, that's a great idea, or let's think about how we're going to narrow this down. Each of you are going to create a multimedia presentation. So you could use Vimeo. I'm using Windows Movie Maker right now to make these movies, and then I'm posting them online at YouTube. You could, I've seen people do Pontoons, I think that's what it's called, where you can do graphic representations in like a cartoon format. You can use PowerPoint as well, but remember, multimedia means a variety of different media forces coming together. So it's video, music, speech, all different kinds of media that are coming, images, those types of things. So make sure if you're using PowerPoint, you might want to use that function where you can animate, you can talk over and have voiceovers as well. The other important thing I want you to remember about this is this, even though this is like, a creative project, I still want it sort of grounded in the research. So make sure that you're incorporating the things that you've read in the Miles Morrell and Duncan piece and the Mangrum piece. If you found other outside sources, you can cite that, you can pull that in. One way might be, us saying, as Miles points out in his article, so on and so on and so on. Make sure that you're using some literature to back that up, okay? And then also, I want it to be more than just the teacher, or the student, you as the student, talking into the video. So make sure that you're incorporating, like I said, as multimedia, make sure you're incorporating examples, video, music, and so forth. I know that this is always the assignment that my students are very apprehensive about in the very beginning. I know that many of you have a range of technology skills. This may be brand new to you. For others, you probably know more technology than I do. So I'm here to help if you have any questions. I don't want it to be difficult. I just want it to be creative, and I want you to really begin to start thinking about how these issues impact you as educators, as parents, as administrators, and so forth. For this module, I'm going to offer 2 Adobe Connect sessions that will function sort of as lectures or question and answer sections. The first will be offered during this first week of the module, and this is where I want to just answer any questions that you may have about assignments, where you may be struggling right now, any confusions that you might have, and I will also go over how to engage in an Adobe Connect session. I know some of you have been involved in previous cohorts, and so you probably have this down pat by now. Others of you, this technology may be brand new. So these Adobe Connect sessions that I lead, they're completely voluntary to join. I will record them and put them online. It does tend to go a little better if I have a few students to engage and have the discussion. So I do encourage you all, if you do have the time, to stop by and hang out with me in our Adobe Connect session. But if not, like I said, I will post a recording and tell you how to get into it so you can look at that. I know that we're all very busy people. The second Adobe Connect session will be the second week of this module, and in that case, I'm actually going to start going over some APA issues. And when I say APA for this class, I'm particularly looking at referencing and citations. So I will do a mini presentation there. I would love for you all to join me. If throughout this program, you will have to use APA to cite and to include your references. So this is a really good way for you to sort of get an introduction to that format style. So if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. And of course, I'll record those videos as both of those sessions and put them online. Like I said, I'm here. If you have any questions, let me know. And I hope you enjoy this module as much as I enjoy putting it together. Thank you.